ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान पॉडकास्ट है।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Radio Pakistan Planet 87.6 Nabi Baig with news reviewers. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Today on 28 May 2025, the whole Pakistani nation is celebrating Youm Takbeer, the day on which in 1998 we carried out series of nuclear blasts in the response of Indian nuclear blasts. We carried out not only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6 nuclear blasts. This made Pakistan first country in Islamic world and 7th nation in all over the world acquiring nuclear capability, nuclear weapons. Due to these nuclear blasts, Pakistan stood its head with pride, honor, joy, and dignity. And today, no enemy can look at us with evil eye. If it does, we are here to respond in a befitting manner, no matter what comes, as we proved in the recent escalation with India. So, on this very special topic, we have a very special guest, renowned journalist and senior analyst, Mr. Mateen Haider. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam, Baig sahab. Thank you so much for inviting me on this
Thank
very,
you for
very
giving us
historic
time
occasion.
on this very special issue. Sir, Youm Takbeer. First of all, listeners would like to know why this name, special name, was given to this day. Secondly, what is the importance of this day historically, scientifically, and strategically?
Wonderful, and thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum to all listeners and viewers, and thank you so much once again for inviting me in your show. Starting in the name of Allah Almighty, most merciful, most compassionate. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahu Akbar. Allah is great. So recently in India-Pakistan conflict, we have also seen when missiles were launched, these were with the slogans of Allahu Akbar, that Allah is great. That is the slogan every time chanted when Pakistan achieves some strategic success or particularly striking at enemy or achieving some extraordinary strategic success or a successful strategic test. And as you mentioned proudly, that it was 28th May 1998 when Pakistan successfully conducted not only one nuclear test but 6 nuclear tests, and the at that time the air in Chagi mountains, right, echoed with the voice Allahu Akbar, Allah is great.
Yes.
So that was, of course, there were multiple factors behind these successful nuclear attacks. And as you said, that what is the historical significance? Historical significance is that since inception of India and Pakistan, India on 15 August and Pakistan, Alhamdulillah, on 14th of August 1947, if we look back right from our first days of creation, Pakistan also started its journey, but it was hard for India to accept the reality that there is an exclusive, Alhamdulillah, great Pakistani nation. So India, right from the first day, did not accept the creation of Pakistan, kept on creating problems, conspiracies. Ultimately, 1948, then it tried to occupy a large portion of Kashmir. Then it was India which went to the line of control and ultimately ceasefire line first, and later on it was converted into line of control. Then later on we see 1965 war, later on in 1971 war, which was more brutal, more lethal, with full of conspiracies, with full of military support to Mukti Bani back in East Pakistan. Later on, we see that off and on there have been skirmishes between Pakistan and India, and final one was this Kargil war. And later on, over last 25 years, we have seen India always try to implicate Pakistan into fake cases, false flag operations, things like that. Purpose of telling you this, Pakistan had no other option except to carry out these nuclear tests at a time. Few days back, India had already carried out the nuclear tests. So it was basically after the Indian test, there was imbalance in South Asia, particularly Pakistani people and soldiers. After witnessing that, they were highly sort of depressed. So the then army chief was visiting line of control after Indian test, General Jahangir Karamat, General JK, known as General JK as well. So when he interacted with our soldiers said, "Sir, if this facility is ready, then we should go ahead and give a befitting response to Indian test." Befitting response in the sense that if they have done and if we have the
So
facility.
they carried 5 and we carried out 6.
Six, exactly. So coming back to this, then of course I remember few days back the activities related to these tests, and on the day of
You are the eyewitness of these tests.
exactly 3 or 4 days later on the very next day, the then Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaz Sharif, along with scientists, they visited the site. And third or the fourth day, still the shelter and the camps of scientists and other people were at the Chagi mountain. We flew from Sumangli Air Base, Quetta, to that particular place, and we were given first-hand briefing by there were scientists like Dr. Samar Mubarakman and also Dr. A.Q. Khan. These both scientists had a great role in developing not only the nuclear weapons but also the missile technology. So historical significance that once Pakistan carried out these nuclear tests, India was silent. So this silence was our deterrence. This silence that now enemy is silent, nukes became our deterrence.
Sir, when India carried out nuclear tests in 1998, there was pressure on Pakistan not to carry out nuclear
This is
tests,
very, very
not to respond.
Exactly.
But it was then government, it was the sagacious decision taken by the government. So how do you see this decision, how important it was and how difficult it was as well, because there was
Exactly.
pressure from the
So
international
in one
community.
question, you have multiple points, right? So sagacious decision, I will call it a strategic and timely decision. Although military and the government were on same page, they consulted each other. Dr. A.Q. Khan was consulted. The then Foreign Secretary Shamshair Ahmed Khan were consulted. The then Army Chief was there. Similarly, the then Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaz Sharif, and all these people were there in taking the decision that finally we will go for the test. So I completely agree with your notion that it was sagacious decision. Number two, you talked about pressure. That's true. There was tremendous pressure from the West, particularly from United States. They knew that once Pakistan conducted the nuclear test and Pakistan becomes nuclear power, as in your opening remarks you said, Pakistan was becoming the first nuclear power in Muslim world and seventh power in the
world.
global nuclear community. So, as I was mentioning, that once Pakistan becomes a nuclear state, then it was very difficult to reverse. And at that time, to prevent Pakistan from conducting nuclear tests, huge monetary financial offers were made by the then US President Mr. Clinton to Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. And the then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif disclosed himself in a televised address to the nation, in which he announced that Pakistan has conducted nuclear tests, number one. And number two, he also talked about American pressure. So, although Pakistan strongly believes in no first strike, no first use of any type of weapon, and that you have also witnessed in the current conflict, Pakistan did not escalate. But Pakistan made it clear that if escalation is made by the enemy, there will be a strong and harder response. And it was first strike carried out by India. India first fired BrahMos missiles on different locations in Pakistan. It carried out air strikes, and then
In
Pakistan.
Pokhran.
Not, I'm talking of this current one. I'm talking of no first strike. There is always a strategic policy that there will be no first strike. So Pakistan, 6th and 7th of May this year, responded only in response to Indian. So actually, I was connecting these dots that Pakistan will never use the nuclear weapons against, and Pakistan do not have any aggressive designs against anyone. So, but if India does, then late Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan had made it clear that we made the nukes and we made the missiles only for India. And if India uses against...
So by your words, I get the idea that Indian nuclear tests became source of, we can say, blessing in disguise for us, because if India had not carried out blast and we would not have got chance to carry out blast, was it blessing in disguise for us?
Exactly, it was blessing in disguise, and it was a great opportunity that ultimately the first Indian test put Pakistan into a challenging situation. And as I told you, then military and political leadership decided. In one of the interview, late Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan Saab has mentioned, he gave me an interview, and in that interview, he mentioned that nuclear facilities in Pakistan were ready by 1984. And this particular, the nuclear facility at Chagi, it was made ready. I mean, scientists started arriving over there, and it looks, as I told you, that Pakistan knew that India was going to do this. Pakistan already knew at that time that India was going to do this. So Pakistan started its preparation. And ultimately, whenever there is any missile test, whenever there is any nuke test, it is always a decision of the political leadership. Military always asks, even in the current situation, you have seen Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has mentioned about a telephone call of the Army Chief General Asim Munir, right, that Pakistan is under attack and we need your permission to strike back, to give. So even at that time, it was a decision of, as you mentioned, sagacious, timely, and strategic decision of the then political leadership and the then Prime Minister Mian Nawaz Sharif, although it was in joint consultation with our strategic forces, with our military, with the then Army Chief. Military and political leadership were on same page. Prime Minister was told that after Indian nuclear test, Pakistan is under pressure, and the security balance in South Asia has been disturbed, and therefore Pakistan has no other option since all our facilities, our things are ready. Scientists have made things ready. And there was another very interesting thing. Former Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Youm Khan, has mentioned in his book. He was very active. He was the then Foreign Minister. Pakistan, by a day before a midnight, Pakistan got intelligence intercepts that Israeli war jets were ready at Srinagar Air Base along with the Indian. Indian got information that Pakistan is somehow going to test the nuclear weapons. So Israeli and Indian war jets were ready at that time to destroy our nuclear facility. That was another reason for immediately conducting the test, that before there could have been enemy strike or attack, so we had no other option except. So that was that immediate. Second reason, that there were imminent threat of Indian strikes on our nuclear facility, as claimed by Foreign Minister Mr. Youm Khan in his book. So Pakistan at that time alerted UN Security Council, alerted immediately. By midnight, 2 a.m. a day before, Indian High Commissioner was forced to wake up at his residence, and a letter was given that you are being summoned at the Foreign Ministry. And he was informed, he was debarred, that we have these reports that India is planning to carry out strikes.
Mateen bhai, final words for the nation, final words for this great nation. What are you, because you have been eyewitness of those and you have very depth knowledge regarding this kind of issues.
Exactly.
Words for the nation.
In the entire Muslim world, if you are watching situation of Gaza, Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, Sudan, Libya, which had huge weapons, Iraq. You have seen how Iraqi weapons were destroyed by Israeli airstrikes back in 1984. The only survival is with the strong defense. And that defense, that nukes, that missiles are your deterrents. And that has been, new deterrence has been, I would like to say in South Asia, the deterrence has been re-established with Pakistan's successful strikes against India on 10th of May. So it is nukes, missiles, and these all weapons are Pakistan's deterrence. Pakistan should be proud of it, despite the fact that despite limited economic resources, Pakistan did all these things. And if we had nothing of these, today's situation would have been different one. Alhamdulillah, Nare Takbeer, Pakistan achieved these all things. And on 10th of May, it was established. Pakistan made Pakistani armed forces and Pakistani strategic forces, Pakistani Air Force, Army, and Navy made the entire nation proud, not only on this day mean on 10th of May, but also on 28th of May.
And today we stand as a victorious
exactly,
nation.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, Mateen.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much.
So nice of you. This is all for today from this transmission. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान पॉडकास्ट है।